Once upon a time, nestled between rolling hills, was a village known as Abundant Harvest. The villagers were known for their hard work and their love of the land. They grew the finest vegetables and the sweetest fruits. The laughter of children filled the air. It was a place of simple joys and honest living. Life was good, but it was about to get even better. As the villagers climbed the hill, they saw the most amazing sight. There, bathed in golden light, stood a magnificent apple tree. Its leaves shimmered like gold coins in the sun, and hanging from its branches were the biggest, most beautiful apples anyone had ever seen. But these were no ordinary apples. These apples glowed with a soft inner light. The villagers were awestruck. Such a treasure right in their midst. Stories of a magical tree that bore apples of wisdom had been passed down through generations. Could this be the very tree from the old tales? The villagers were excited. They rushed towards the tree, eager to taste the magical fruit. But just as they were about to grab the apples, a voice boomed across the hillside. "Stop!" It was the village elder, a wise man known for his calm demeanor and thoughtful advice. He walked slowly towards the excited crowd. "This tree is indeed magical," he said, "but it must be treated with respect." The wise man continued, "The apples on this tree are not ordinary. They are apples of wisdom, but they only reveal their gift to those who approach with a pure heart and a selfless spirit." The villagers listened intently. The wise man's words were not to be taken lightly. Some villagers scoffed at the old man's warnings. They found his tales of the magical tree and its enchanted apples to be nothing more than the ramblings of an eccentric elder. They didn't believe the old man, dismissing his words as mere superstition. They thought he was trying to keep the magical apples all to himself, perhaps to sell them for a fortune or to hoard their power. Driven by greed and the desire to prove the old man wrong, they pushed past him and reached for the glowing fruit, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. But as soon as their fingers touched the apples turned to ash. The once vibrant and glowing fruit crumbled into dust, slipping through their fingers like sand. The greedy villagers were disappointed, their dreams of wealth and power vanishing in an instant. They had failed to heed the wise man's words, and now they faced the consequences of their actions. The wise man shook his head sadly, his heart heavy with the knowledge that his warnings had gone unheeded. "I warned you," he said, his voice filled with a mix of sorrow and frustration. "The tree can sense your intentions. It knows when your heart is filled with greed and selfishness. It will only give its gifts to those who are pure of heart, those who seek its fruit not for personal gain, but for the good of others." Many villagers, disheartened and ashamed, returned to the village. They had learned a hard lesson about the dangers of greed and the importance of listening to wisdom. They realized the truth in the wise man's words, but some remained unconvinced, their hearts still clouded by the desire to possess the magical apples. They still believed they could outsmart the tree, that they could find a way to take its fruit without being pure of heart. And so they continued to scheme and plot, unaware that their greed would only lead to more disappointment and sorrow. Among the villagers was a young boy named Aaron. He was not just any boy. He was special in ways that were not immediately visible to the eye. Aaron had a heart that radiated kindness and a mind that was always thoughtful. He was known for his kind heart and thoughtful nature. The villagers often saw him helping others, whether it was carrying water for the elderly or sharing his food with those who had none. His actions spoke louder than words, and everyone admired him for it. He had listened intently to the wise man's words. The wise man, a figure of great respect in the village, often shared stories and wisdom that captivated Aaron. He would sit for hours, absorbing every word, every lesson, and every piece of advice. He understood that this gift was not to be taken for granted. Aaron knew that wisdom was a treasure more valuable than gold or silver. He pondered deeply on the wise man's teachings, reflecting on how he could use this knowledge for the greater good. Aaron wanted to taste the wisdom, not for himself, but for the betterment of his village. He dreamed of a place where everyone lived in harmony, where kindness and understanding were the norms. His heart ached for the well-being of his people. Aaron decided to visit the wise man that evening. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the village. With determination in his steps, he made his way to the wise man's humble abode, seeking guidance and clarity. He wanted to understand how to approach the tree with a pure heart. The tree was said to be magical, granting wisdom to those who approached it with genuine intentions. Aaron's heart was pure, but he needed to know the right way to seek its blessings. The wise man smiled at the young boy. He saw in Aaron a spark, a light that was rare and precious. The wise man had seen many come and go, but none with a heart as pure as Aaron's. He saw in Aaron a genuineness that was missing in the other villagers. While others sought the tree for personal gain, Aaron's intentions were selfless. This made him stand out, and the wise man knew that Aaron was destined for something great. "The tree will sense the purity in your heart, young Aaron," he said. The wise man's voice was gentle yet firm, filled with wisdom and assurance. He knew that Aaron's journey was just beginning, and he wanted to prepare him for what lay ahead. "Go to the tree with humility and ask not for yourself, but for others." The wise man's words echoed in Aaron's mind as he made his way to the tree. He felt a sense of purpose, a mission to bring wisdom and prosperity to his village. With each step, his resolve grew stronger, and his heart beat with the purest of intentions. The next morning, as the sun rose, Aaron climbed the hill. The air was crisp, and the sky painted in hues of orange and pink. Each step he took was filled with determination and hope. He had heard tales of the ancient tree that granted wishes, but he never thought he would seek it out himself. Yet here he was, driven by a desire to bring joy to his village. He stood before the magnificent tree, feeling small but hopeful. The tree's branches stretched out wide, its leaves shimmering in the morning light. Aaron felt a connection to the tree, as if it understood his deepest desires and fears. He took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts and courage. He closed his eyes and thought of his village, of all the people he loved. He remembered the laughter of children, the warmth of family gatherings, and the sense of community that bound them all together. "Great tree," he whispered, his voice barely audible in the stillness of the morning. "I don't seek wisdom for riches or fame." His words were sincere, coming from the depths of his heart. He had seen how greed and ambition could tear people apart, and he wanted none of it. Instead, he sought something pure and selfless. "I only wish to help my village and bring happiness to my people." He envisioned a future where everyone in his village thrived, where no one went hungry, and where joy was a constant companion. This was his true wish, a wish born out of love and compassion. As Aaron opened his eyes, he felt a sense of anticipation. The air around him seemed to hum with energy, and he could feel the tree responding to his heartfelt plea. He saw a single apple hanging before him, shining brighter than the others. It was as if the tree had chosen this apple specifically for him, a symbol of hope and promise. He gently reached out and plucked the apple from the branch. The apple felt warm and alive in his hand, pulsating with a gentle energy that seemed to resonate with his own heartbeat. It felt warm and alive in his hand. Aaron took a bite, savoring the sweet and crisp taste. As the juice flowed into his mouth, he felt a connection to the tree and the earth itself, and a surge of warmth spread through him. It was as if the tree's ancient wisdom was being transferred to him, filling him with knowledge and understanding. He felt a deep sense of peace and understanding. In that moment, Aaron knew that his wish had been granted. He would return to his village, not just with the apple, but with a newfound sense of purpose and clarity. The tree had given him more than he had asked for, and he was ready to share its blessings with his people. Aaron returned to the village, eager to share the gift of wisdom. He shared stories and insights gained from the apple. He spoke of unity and kindness, hard work and perseverance. His words resonated with the villagers. They listened with open hearts and minds. Aaron didn't keep the wisdom to himself. He encouraged others to approach the tree with pure intentions. Those who were selfless and caring also received the gift of wisdom. They too shared their newfound knowledge and understanding. The village of abundant harvest began to change. The villagers started to help each other. They worked together, sharing their resources and knowledge. The village, once divided by greed and envy, was now united by wisdom and compassion. The air vibrated with a new energy. The laughter of children became more joyous. The harvest was more abundant than ever before. The golden apple tree, a symbol of wisdom and purity, stood tall on the hill, a constant reminder of the village's transformation. News of the village's transformation spread far and wide. People from neighboring villages came to witness the change. They too learned the valuable lesson of the golden apple tree. Greed and envy only led to emptiness. True happiness and fulfillment came from selfless actions and a pure heart. And so, the tale of the golden apple tree continued to be passed down through generations. A reminder that true wisdom and happiness are not found in material possessions, but in the purity of our intentions and the kindness we show to others. The village of abundant harvest flourished, a shining example of the enduring power of a pure heart.